We all know why we're here. So let me ask you a question then. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, but really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, break it down, now can you peep it? They're deceiving all the people. Let me ask you, what's the secret? Misinformation and lies, a devious disguise. They want the EMF blast until our brains is fried. Oh, point their beams in the sky. Oh, it's a movie now. This world is all CGI, their plot is truly foul. But we're here to rise up and bring the real. Time is now, truth seekers, y'all know how I feel. Truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, why the big secret?
All right, happy New Year, everyone. And it is 2023, and I want to welcome you to Forbidden Knowledge TV. I'm your host, Roderick Martin, and we got a great show for you tonight. We're going to talk about time travel, those portals. Is it possible? Does people do it? And I want to get you ready for that because I just think it's a great show. I'm really intrigued about time travel. And I think one of the things about it is as we dive deep into the mysteries of portals in time travel, we're going to discuss some of the secret military time traveling projects. We're going to stories of people who claim to have come from other timelines. And then we're going to get into the time travel technology alleged being hidden at the Vatican. Now, we know there's a lot that goes down at the Vatican as well. Now, there's going to be three questions that I would like to pose to you to get just to kind of get things going, because these things we're going to talk about is shrouded in mystery. Whether you like it or not, or whether these stories to be true, it's going to be up to you to decide as we talk about them tonight. But keep an open mind, because your eyes are useless when your mind is blind, and it's always time to think why. So the first question is, why did the time travel teleportation begin in the World War II? We're going to try to just think about that a little bit. Why do some people believe that there's a time traveler machine hidden in the Vatican? Just think about that as well. And why would we even need such technology? That is what we're going to talk about, and those are the things that we're going to do. In the meantime, once again, let me slow things up for a minute and just tell you guys, once again, Happy New Year. And I hope each and every one of you have had a Happy New Year. I'm going to look into the chat here before we get started. We're just going to this is going to be our opening show for the year, but let me tell you something. you are going to be really, really, you're just going to enjoy what's going to happen in the future shows that's coming out, and some changes that we're going to be making just for you, and to give you that information in an entertainment way that I think that most people will probably enjoy. Now I'm going to call out a few things real quickly. Last year, we had I had a few haters. I had a few people post some stuff in the chats and all of those things. But let me tell you right now, you can put that behind you, because you, the haters, need to be wherever you are, and we're not worrying about all of that, because you know what, it's going to be a blessed year. I have a blessed life and a blessed surrounding of people. We're going to do that. I'm going to show you a few pictures of the New Year's Eve party real quickly before we get the show started. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to Patricia. Yes, you, Patricia. Yes, you. And Patricia, is a fan, and the greatness of Junior shared some things with me. So I just want to say thank you, Patricia, for watching the show, and continue to watch. And if you do place your something in the chat, I want everybody to tell her thank you and Happy New Year from you, and from me as well. So another thing, so I want to put a couple of quick announcements out for you real quick before we get started. And I will explain some things to you. But first, let me set things up with my new year and some things when I went to visit and had a great time at Billy and Liz's house for New Year's, and brought in a new year. And I just created something quick that I wanted to share with you, but also to thank them. And so let me play this for you right now. All right, we're in the Rolls Royce. And, that's one of these.
My house, my circle is so small, it's a dot. And I really appreciate every single one of you guys. So thank you for taking the effort to come down here and be a part of this tonight.
Morning. We are now. All right, my ride is here. My ride is here. I'm going to be picked up in the Rolls Royce. Breakfast. Gonna get some breakfast. Okay, so I am about to go through a session of training. We're going to improve on greatness to be Nurse Nikki here. Hi, how you doing? Okay. All right, so that was my really just saying thank you to Liz and Billy, two wonderful individuals. I mean, real individuals. And I just don't, it was a life-changing event for me. And I want to take this time, and the reason I'm saying this, and I want to say this to each and every one of you that is watching. It is probably one of the most biggest truth is the people that you surround yourself with. And also that if you are possible, like I was, to be at the root down there while they're sprouting those trees, I'm able to be pulled up by these people and friends and network, and in the love that they showed in what's happening. When you sit down with people such as Billy and Liz and line up and they put out what's going to be happening in 2023, and I'm part of that, you know, where we're going to do the European tour, you know, and it's going to be the first, I think it's, you know, it's the Forbidden Knowledge tour. It's going to be all over the world. In fact, here's kind of what's going to be happening in Europe, and I'll be one of the speakers there. But, you know, they're having an event, and I just took the time to do this, and they had no clue that I'm going to be plugging it right here. And I want to go ahead and do this right now and show you. January 29th, he's having a Manifest Destiny Workshop 2023 hosted by Billy Carson, and special guest is Elizabeth Hostra. I want to say something to you, and I want to say it without. I'm a full grown man, but I do have a lot of emotion right now from what I was a part of over the weekend and the people I was around. When I stepped out after being picked up in that Rolls Royce and sit down, and, you know, when I got to their home and I looked at what was happening here, and I'm a praying person. I'm a person that tries to follow some of the techniques and things, but I know there's a lot of other changes that I need. But one of the first thing came to mind when I stepped into their driveway of Essence here, and the big palm trees, the windows 50, 20, 30 feet, 2 stories up, and just the greeting of the massive door of success, love, and tranquility. I said to myself, boy, get on your knees and start meditating right now, because this stuff works. Okay. The meditation works. Oh, that green stuff he talks about, eating healthy, get over there and eat some of his trees and all of those things. And I'm not saying this as a kiss up. I'm saying this as reality, that the message that this man gives out, him and his wife, and it is real. I'm telling you, people, it is real, and they're living their best life. So I'm saying to you that if you can get access to everything, do it, take it in, work it. And I honestly would tell you, it's not nothing that he tells you or says to people is not untrue. There are some people out there that portray certain things, but behind the scenes, you can't see it. You can't see everything behind his things. It's too big. It's too much. It's happening. It's real. And so, if anything that you do, and I will say this most hardly, manifest this right now. Go to its own Eventbrite. There to be some links. You can find it on forbiddenknowledge.com, and then get you part of that, because I'm saying I witness, and I bear witness to the fruits. I bear witness to the divine, and I bear witness to the truth that he puts out when it comes down to the things that you do or he does in Elizabeth, and not just them, but the people around them. I met some great people. Show you a couple of photos real quick, and then we'll get the show going. This is just Liz here. You know, I'm looking for more food. They had some great food there, and it's just amazing. I'm just sitting here speaking with, that's his sister to the right, Maria Carson, and an amazing lady, it just runs family deep, caring, smart, the whole 9 yards. And she's going to shape my life, and she's a world-class weightlifter and nutritionist and all of those things. And you're going to see some stuff in the future. The greatness of, you probably seen the video, B Cyrus, and that's Nikki there, and she has a great show. She does some great therapy things. You guys, there's a team of people. Of course, to show you, there's some of the food there. There was some great stuff. Lisa Leslie was there. You know, if you know her from basketball, and you know the greatness of the people that she's around, and once again, she was there with us as well. You know, of course, Billy and I there as well, just kind of doing some things. And, you know, one of the photo ops right there, this is priceless. You know, I just thought, and then you got Chef Abdul, and of course, James was here. You check out his show in Detroit. You know, he's a young actor, and he's now part of the management company of Forbidden Knowledge, and so am I. And and it just gets real, and it was real. So I just wanted to share some of those photos with you, and everything else. And now let's go through our tradition and get some things going. Truth Seekers! All right, now it is 2023. And do I have some stuff that we're going to be doing for you? But anyway, as always, you could have been any other place tonight, but you chose to be right here and right now. And what I got to tell you, you belong here. You could have been anywhere else. So I want to bid you good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the 24 time zones that this show is showing. As in background, I'm located in the Jumbo State. That is where those UFOs come out to play, and it is a Texas thing. In Texas, there's a big promise to be the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, creating captivating conversations that will certainly cause controversy. Join me tonight, and we're going to talk about those time travel, and we're going to talk about those portals. But most importantly, I want you to tune in, because this is the frequency for you, this channel, the family, Forbidden Knowledge. I'm telling you, I witness greatness, and I want to share it with you through my emotions, through everything, to tell you it is real. You can get it. You can manifest it. And that's what I was going to say. But anyway, much love out for the new year to my producer, Lonnie, who has just worked tirelessly working on things to make things great. Much love to you. Always to the researchers that in 2022, who's now going to take us in 2023, we're going to do that. And so this is my special shout out. All right, so that's it. Everybody's covered. Much love to you, the watchers, everybody. I love you all. And you're going to witness the transformation right here live throughout this year. You're going to see a better me. You're going to see a glorious me. You're going to see a lot of me. For those who said, where's Billy? Well, that's because I'm here on Tuesday night, and that's where I am. And from there. All right, so we're going to get into this time travel portal conversation. And one of the things I think about it is, what is really happening. So in this particular block or segment, we're going to go throughout history where people have claimed to have been time travelers, where to have experienced the slip of time, as well as some whatever kind, because that's oftentimes been a UFO investigator, as you know, and some of the network and shows that I have attended last year. And man, this year is going to be even more. It's going to be greater. So just to kind of give myself a shout out, of course, Beyond Belief, George Norrie and Gaia. I will have a show coming up this year in Open Minds with Regina Meredith, already previously with Alien Endgames, Fox Tubi, Forbidden Knowledge TV, 8 episodes on Forbidden Knowledge, as well as an up-and-coming show that will be on Gaia, and two other documentaries that I filmed. I don't know the name yet. That'll be what but they're complete, and they'll be showing in 2023 as well. But like I said, some of these people reported seeing individuals who magically appear in the middle of a busy shopping center. We have a video clip of that I'll share with you. And I'm not saying it's authentic. This just was posted, someone claiming it. But you as the audience, as we are truth seekers, we go on this journey together, right? And it's up to you to decide, but I'll show the clip here momentarily. But the one thing about it is, being a UFO investigator, there's been many cases where people have said they have loss of time. In fact, we did a show early on this year with Dr. Gary Nolan, clips that I was showing about brain damage and all of things that people have been going through from abductions and everything else. Check it out. Go back to those videos if you want. Give you great references to where people are talking about loss of time being involved with these alien type abductions. And so it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. Make sure you hit the like button and share this video as well. There is a Amber Leach is one of the oldest accounts of time travel stories from the prophet Jeremiah, his servant. And so in this particular story, Jeremiah tells this young boy And let me make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Is Amberleach, right? So I'll get a notice in the heartbeat from the show producer saying, shape it up. You're not pronouncing it right. If it's not, she'll put it in the chat. But that's fine. That's fine. As I do more, I grow more and everything else. But you'll get the point by the time I finish. But anyway, one of the oldest account is that this guy is the prophet Jeremiah's servant. Now, in the story, he tells his young boy to collect figs. All right. This is one of the kind of the backstory of what we're talking about. And while looking for those figs, this little boy hears a sound and he feels a strong wind before the closing. Okay. Before losing consciousness. And when he awakes, he ended up, he rushes back, to give the figs to Jeremiah. And unbeknownst to him, he met a group of soldiers that he didn't recognize. He didn't know who they were. But then even the area itself looked different. But he asked them, where could he find? Okay, so it's Ambilek. Okay, there we go. See, I love my producer. All right. So, and he tells these soldiers, he asked them where he can find Jeremiah. And, to his surprise, they share with him that it's been 62 years since Jeremiah was there. And you can find these stories in history. Okay. And like I said from a moments ago, I'll show you a quick clip of what was supposed to be someone just popping out in the middle of nowhere in a shopping mall. Let me just 8 seconds. But like I said, you could be determined and post in the chat what your thoughts are. But here's the clip real quick. All right, so there you saw it. Now, okay, first I said to myself, I do talk to myself. You talk to yourself, right? And I said, self, watch it again. And I answered. And that's the weirdest part. I said, okay, I'll watch it again. So I'm going to show it to you again. All right, so there you have it. I'll look in the chat in a minute and see what you think. Now, I did pause this video, slowed it up a little bit, just trying to see the special effects if there's any. But, whether it's true or not, this is not uncommon for me as a UFO investigator to hear stories like that. I get emails all the time. People will say, Roderick, I was driving down the street and something just appeared out of nowhere. And this is probably one of these things that is probably very common to people that are seeing this. Now, in ufology, as we go back into some of these stories of time travel, then it is also said that in some cases, in some corners, that the extraterrestrials or the people that we see now are possibly time travels from the future. Okay, so that's who we're looking at, is extraterrestrials, could be us into the future, coming back to the future. Now, I have conversations with time travelers that was maybe not time travelers, or people who known time travelers with some really, unbelievable stories that happens out here. But let me check the chat and see what you guys think about the video there first. And let's see where we're going with this here. And I did do a lot of shout outs, but I'll do them later. So where can I find that clip? Lonnie, do we have that clip where we can kind of post it in the chat for someone? Did he freeze and anyone in? Not okay. So I'm not really for sure. Wow, he time warped. Yeah. And again, this was happening through a live news broadcast, as you can see, and that someone said they want to see it again. So I'm gonna show it one more time for everyone, and then we'll continue the conversations. And it's 8 seconds here, and let's kind of go. Now, my thoughts is even if something like that was to happen in front of me, and if it's happened so fast, you probably wouldn't believe it anyway. You're probably just like, where he come from? But it never thought that he really wasn't there, because it just happened so fast. And so I'm sure, all of those things. And I've seen a couple of other videos that, you see some people jumping in different places. But now, if you remember the movie Stargate, most of you, Stargate is about a portal where this group are going through this portal, going into other areas, as though they're all some type of galactic police or whatever. Now, one of the surprising part of this is that the Air Force themselves is supposed to be the ones who have the actual Stargate that we see in the movies. And if you pay attention to some of the series there, the actual Air Force do a lot of cameos through Stargate. The Air Force, our Air Force, there's some of their captains or generals or whatever play. They don't play acting roles; they just do cameos in it, and it makes you wonder because we always talk about Hollywood is a great way to show us exactly what is happening out there, and I truly believe that Hollywood, all of this is connected to a point to where if it's in Hollywood, it's out there because they're sharing the story. And one of the beliefs is that if someone was to go public and say, well, you know what, I saw this, and they can use that movie thing and laugh at you and say, oh, it was in a movie. You guys don't know what you're talking about. And it's a setup that way. But why wouldn't we have time travel? Why couldn't we figure that out? In fact, there was another clip, and I don't know if I even put it in here in my images, and I meant to do it. There was a movie out there. It was called The Time Traveler Story. It's on Amazon. And this guy supposedly be from 2033. You want to go check that out, and he had some great stories. He talked about the company of the future, and he used the name Gamazon. He said that is the one company that takes over the entire planet. And I was like, Gamazon? And it made a lot of sense for him to say that, because what would be those two companies that would do that? Google and Amazon makes Gamazon. And he talked about how they ruled everything, and in that future, vegetables and everything were, free. Like you go to the grocery store, like a community, and grab some stuff. And how he got arrested here is because he thought the food was free, like from the future, and he grabbed some fruit or something. But he did say some startling things about longevity and life, how it is shortened in the future. So I don't know about that part of whether it's truth or in there, but we'll go from there. There was another story by Charlotte Ann Moberly in Atlanta, Jordan. This happened in August the 10th, 1901. The two women go for a walk in the gardens of Versailles with the help of a guidebook. Okay. They got lost, missing a turn, and ended up in a lane where they say they experienced noticeable a huge change in scenery. They was like, where am I? This doesn't look the same when they turned this corner. It's in a book called An Adventure, so you want to check that out. But the pair describes people dressed in outdated clothing. The scenery was to feel more like a painting rather than reality, they were saying. And a woman who they believe could possibly have been an apparition, Marie Antoinette. And so this is a story that was out there, and they talk about this. Now, there's another movie, was called The Time Machine. I don't know if you've seen that. And this is guy, he was trying to change the past or the future, one or the other, when he was going to marry this woman, and she ended up getting killed by a wagon or something. I don't know if y'all seen that, but he began to invent this time machine to go back to the past to alter the event of the future. Since he knew when she was going to be passed, he wanted to change that. Now, just like everyone else talk about that, we're in all of these different timelines. In the movie, it actually kind of showed that a little bit, right? Because what it did was, no matter what he changed, she still was killed or died, not by the same method, or was it, or it was something. But whatever was happening was, although he changed, he went back into the future, he still was in a timeline, but the timeline still happened for her to have that accident that was happening. And that's something that I think is interesting, because I was once told by a channeler and was telling me that, Roderick, you can sit here and change timelines. And I'm like, okay, well, where would I be in another timeline? Would I be, like a Denzel Washington size or something, or how, and if so, why did I choose this one or whatever? But once again, it's still one of those conversations. And I think at this point, in so much high strangeness that we have, it is possible. It is possible that we could have multiple timelines. So let me look into the chat here and see what we got going on. And all right, well, y'all having your own conversations. Y'all not including me. So let me get back to my business over here. All right, so John Titor. This is on November the 2nd, 2000. Someone with the screen name, Time Travel Zero, posted. Now, this is interesting. So let me bag up for a minute. So check this out. What I'm going to share with you now is really freaking interesting. All right. And there's some stories out there to back this up. On November the 2nd, like I said, 2000, someone with the screen name Time Travel _0 posted on the Time Travel Institute forum board claiming to be an American soldier from the year 2036. Now, what surprises me is this, though, even seeing a lot of these stories, is that they're not talking about 89 or 24,000 and something. Is 24. It's always either 2015 or 20, 30 years. And meaning there's a lot of change and shift that we're going to have coming up in the future. In fact, in that other movie, Time Machine, they even blew up the moon. And we plan on going to the moon, right? And so they blew up the moon in that thing because of whatever we were doing. But anyway, in his first post, I'm talking about Time Travel _0. He shared a picture of what he calls a military insignia. And over the next several months, this guy will begin posting messages not only to the forum board of that, but to the Coast to Coast radio station, which y'all know there's a lot of high strangeness happening there, Coast to Coast, with Art Bell, George Norrie, a lot of those things. And I think in a few days, I'm going to be on their show. So I'll let you know about that. Well, L said he heard about that, if he's talking about what we're talking about. And so they were saying that he also would take on the pseudonym of John Titor. And John stated, check this out, that he was on his way to 1975, where he would collect an IBM 51 computer that was made in 1975. And this computer, what he was saying was that it had components needed to fight a destructive virus of the future. It makes perfectly sense, right? If you think about it, why would a time traveler want to come all the way back to the future or the past and get some bad technology that will help them in the future when you think technology is better? Now, I thought about that when I read this story, and we'll get to some more of this. And what I'm about to tell you next is going to blow you away, and I'm going to give you some where you can connect the dots. But in this particular story, he said he's going to come back to get a computer. So this computer is going to help with the future. All right. So, but check this out, though. There was a movie called what was the name of that? It was a great movie. And it's just right on the tip of the tongue here. And well, anyway, Andromeda. Yeah, anybody seen the movie Andromeda Strain? Now, Andromeda Strain was in the future. There was something that came and started. It was like some type of airborne virus that was just messing people's minds up. And it's a great movie. You want to check it out. It has two startling parts of this. It was sent to us on purpose. Listen to me. It was sent to the past, where in the current time, on purpose for the people in the future. Now, it had nothing to do with that they was trying to exterminate people. It's just that it was killing them in the future. So they sent it back. Okay. And the reason that they found out why that they sent this thing back is because what could destroy it at this time was vent mining, with some natural resources that we depleted, so they couldn't use it in the future. And so they knew that sending it back to let us handle it, then we would more likely cure it, and then maybe in the future they already have resources to fight against what it was. But it so happened that we did that from there. So yeah. So I think, so that was a great story when it comes down to time travel and that. But let me share something, and I'm gonna connect some dots. Okay, if you haven't heard, David Pilates have a new he has a new movie. Okay, and the movie is called Missing 411, the UFO connection. Have anyone seen that yet? Let me put it in chats, because I'm gonna bring up a point that was so good in there as well. Missing 411 is a new release by David Pilates, and if you hadn't seen it, I recommend you get it, rent it, see it, and you'll be blown away, because this guy talks. This is about some missing stuff happening out there in our forests and everything else, but it also has some time travel implications in it, and just pretty much. Okay, so let's do this. Someone, I think I said it before, that we going to make sure we handle any of this bad conversations in our chats or anything else, in sarcasm, all of this stuff, because I do believe now, for all of you here, as we learn and grow and entertain ourselves, being part of Forbidden Knowledge is just essential. And if there's people in here in the chats or anywhere else of comments out there, if they're not in the right place, not only to really be respectful and all of those things, they will be removed this year. We're going to take a little time to make sure they don't bring their energy into our energy. We're going to block them. We're going to do everything possible to make sure their lives stay where they need to be. You over here where we need to be. So there are some in there that I've seen already. We're going to get to you tonight. The show producer and I, some people, we're going to clean house, and you won't be back. Don't worry about it. But anyway, in the movie, if you have not seen Missing 411, there was a scene in there. And so let me tie it back to, and here's the deal. There is a scene in there where they start talking about the elk. And this is going to be part of time travel, so I'm going to bring it home for you. And there's a scene in there where they're going to be talking about elk, okay? And this guy, he was out hunting, and the extraterrestrial showed up. And while he found these elk frozen in time. This is not the first time I've heard this story. We've seen videos of dogs, sheep, where they're just frozen, like it's some glitch in some matrix that we're in. Well, anyway, he saw this, and they were just frozen. So when he shot his gun, it went, bullets, boom, it fell. But where I'm going with this is he was told by the aliens or extraterrestrials, but this guy looked almost human-like, that they was there gathering up elk. And in this movie, he's showing where the elk is being abducted too. But it's also about some kind of disease. Now, hear me out. Some kind of disease, and I'm going to tie it into the time travel for you in just a minute. There is some kind of disease that is now going around. It's similar to mad cow disease, but it's in the deer population and elk population. And now they're saying that we're getting a lot of ETs that are abducting these elk. Maybe they're trying to figure out how to fix it or whatever. And they're saying that we need to be careful of eating this deer meat that's out there. All right. So why did I say this? And I'm glad you asked. Also, in another post, remember I was talking about this time travel that was John Titor, that was, he was talking about the computer. He needed an older computer. And he also, in another post, listen to me closely, he posted and even stated that the mad cow disease is a serious threat in his reality, and was described the frustration with the way of life in 2036 due to our poor choices. Now, he said this is a time travel that says 2036, there's going to be some issues. At the same time, these are not connected. David Pilates 411 that just came out has a section in there where we got issues with mad cow disease in the animals that we're eating out and abroad, and the ETs are abducting them, and they're saying they could be trying to fix it because we got a problem in the future. This guy is already saying he's a time traveler. It is a reality in our future. And then in this movie, they talk about, and they did not put these two together. When I seen this and saw that, I was shocked. Like, whoa. I don't know if I stop eating meat, Cosmic, but I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, zombie deers. Yeah, Joel, that's what they call it. Zombie deers is some kind of condition that's out there right now. But then they start showing these guys seeing how these spacecrafts was coming, picking up the whatever from there. So Reggie said we got a lot of trolls in here. Oh no, okay, we'll get to them, Reggie, because we're gonna get them this year, and they're not even gonna go into the future with us from there. But so that was a challenging thing there. If that is what's happening, and this time travel is true. One of the other future happenings he told about that did happen. He talked about the Civil War beginning, a new Civil War beginning in 2005. He also said Omaha, Nebraska is going to become a new U.S. capital, and then the mad cow disease is threatening the food industry. There we go. And that's something that one of the things that the movie is called, let me put it up for you right here, Missing 411. And this is the new one by David Pilates. You do not want to miss it. You don't want to miss that one. You can buy it, see it. It has some incredible stories. And if you haven't watched any of his other stuff, you can go to Fox Tubi. Yeah, Fox Tubi is free. I think that one's on Fox Tubi as well. You have to buy it. But I think they're all on Fox Tubi. You can watch them free there. And I think that's on Fox Tubi as well. So go to Fox Tubi, check it out, and pretty much from there. All right. So the show producer says, Roderick, is your eye seeing something I'm not seeing? Because she's on it. She be like on them chats and stuff, pretty much. So, yeah. So, yeah, you definitely want to go check that out. So let's get into some more. Also, the same time travel. Also shared a large amount of detail about his travel experiences in life in 2036. And he's sure to stress the fact that multiple timelines exist and that his experience of event may never happen in our timeline as it does. And then Titor was last heard in March 24, 2001, when he said, bring a gas can with you when the car dies on the side of the road, and he never was heard again from there. So what do you think? What do y'all think about that? Because there's a lot of stuff, movies and different things that kind of show time travel and everything else. And one of the greatest movies recently was The Day After Tomorrow. Y'all seen, or was it called that? Or Tomorrow's War. I'm sorry. Tomorrow's War was a great movie where the people from the future was being destroyed, and they came back in the past to get our help and was taking people in the present to the future to fight a war. And it was kind of one of those things from there. Yeah, we can make a movie club. Actually, Girl from the Bay, we're actually starting in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have a little quick section about different movies and different things that you can learn and stuff. And we're going to talk about it in the show, maybe like a 5 or 6 minute segment, and then give a link where you guys can go watch it, because we're going to, you all are going to go on a learning journey this year with not only the stories and stuff that we talk about, but it's infotainment. We're going to do some stuff. Yeah. But Tomorrow's War was a great movie. So you got to see it where a girl comes back in the opening line. We are you 30 years into the future. It was so powerful. And she was just saying, but we're dying and we need your help. And so it was so weird from there. Here's another one. Sergio Pinocchio, whatever his last name is, not Pinocchio, that's for sure. In 2006, a Ukrainian police officer crossed paths with a man who seemed disoriented. The officer asked him for his ID, which was issued in 1950s by the USSR, and the name of the ID was Sergei, and whatever his long last name is, really long last name. Lana can put his, you guys can hear that one. But confused by the time gap and concerned by Sergei's mental health, the officer took him to the hospital for a psych evaluation. Okay. And when he asked how he ended up, no, I'm not going to do that. She just put the way I should pronounce his name over here in my note screen. Can you put that down there for them to see what I would be up against? I want y'all to check this out. I didn't pronounce the name, so she gives me the breakdown, the syllabus, or how or whatever we're gonna do. Just, how you want to pronounce it. And I looked at this and I'm like, no. So put it down in there and see if the audience can pronounce that, Lonnie, for what I see. I know she's laughing her tail off today. All right, so he's confused by the time gap. I'm just telling you. And so when he asked how he ended up in 26, he stated that he was taking a walk when he saw a giant bell-shaped object in the sky and took a picture of it and instantly found himself alongside the road where the cops found him. And I thought that was kind of pretty interesting from there. So, but wanting to prove his story, Sergio asked him for a film to be developed and the picture to be viewed, and a professional photographer was called in to help and indicated that the film and Sergio's camera stopped production in the 1970s. So, whoa, okay. And then once they developed this film, the doctors was amazed. They found the pictures. Sergio was wearing the exact same clothes and the pictures of his girlfriend, Valentina, and the bell. So, again, these are stories of time travel, but he mysteriously disappeared though, and from the hospital shortly after, but the cops were able to locate his girlfriend. And when they met with her, she was in her 70s. Whoa. So the guy disappeared. The girlfriend that was in the pictures, they went like, okay, let's go find him. And yeah, and pretty much right. And I'm like, that's not happening. So she was in her 70s today. So Valentina explained that Sergio often spoke of things from the future, such as microwaves and artificial hearts. So she provided a photo of her and Sergio, and the same photo rolled from that same film allowed the hospital to be developed. So that is something that we have stories out there. And I'm sure there's plenty more that goes down when it comes down to time traveling, when it comes down to, and there's other movies of portals. And I forget the name. This last one I was watching, it's a series. This old couple found this thing hidden in their backyard, and you can go into it and it takes you to wherever, another side of town, or in the countries, in this case, onto another planet. And these are all these portals and gates and all these things. So I think for myself, I would assume this stuff exists. It has to, and the stories are, but you wonder about some of these time travelers and what's really going on from there. And of course, that started with the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Let's get into teleporters. Okay. Now these are just a few people who claim to travel through time, but what's about those who have created these portals to travel through. Okay. And this goes back to like the Stargate and everything else that we was talking about. Yeah. The series is called The Time Traveler's Wife. That is a great show. I don't know. I don't get nothing for plugging those things, but definitely you want to check it out. Now, what I'm about to share with you now is going to really trip you out. And we talked about it in the past on one of the shows on Why the Big Secret YouTube channel. And if you didn't know, I do have a Why the Big Secret YouTube channel that I live stream. Like tomorrow, I'll do a show around 3:00 and I upload content. So if you have not had an opportunity, Lana, if you don't mind, place it in a link in the chat. Why the Big Secret, go there. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you definitely better do that. I mean, good Lord. And then, as always, hit the like button right there. Yeah, I know some people are hard of hearing, so I thought to start coming out with these visuals and stuff will be pictures and all that stuff, that we're used to doing, and colors and coloring books and stuff, and say, like the channel and all that, and coloring books. But anyway, what I'm about to share with you right now, I think is going to be real, and it's going to be what the young folks call receipts. We got the receipts for you. And you can go check it out yourself and look it up. And what I'm about to share with you, there is a patent. Okay. Someone has created a patent. Now, oftentimes when they create a patent to something that they own or have, they want to control it because this is what it works. Okay. Now, according to, I'm not going to tell you the name of this document just yet, but yes, I am. I'm not going to hold it. It's called a walk-through walls training system. Yeah, I know. When I read it, I was like Scooby-Doo, like, yeah, it's walk-through walls training system, and it's patent. And I'm gonna show you the patent, okay, in just a second. But according to this document, this invention is a training system that would enable me or you to acquire sufficient hyperspace energy in order to pull the body out of the dimensions so a person can walk through a solid wall. Correction. They applied for the patent and abandoned it. So the patent was never completed and approved. All right. So we got receipts of something that they applied for. Thank you. But they abandoned it. But why would they apply for it and abandon it? Because somebody told them, man, you better don't do this. You don't do it. But let me show y'all what it is. And it says that if you come through the internet, you're guaranteed to find some of the most poorly edited video. We'll show that in a minute, but that was just me reading some notes. But let me show you. Yeah, walk through walls. I know it. I see you. Yeah, walk through walls, Clinton. But someone said it didn't work. I don't know if it didn't work, but I think somebody told them to take it down. But let me show y'all the patent that was, like a boss, Nicole. She was like, walk through some walls. Yeah, you got threatened. That's what I would say, Anna. You got threatened in a heartbeat. So let's show you the patent. All right. So it looks something like this. There you go. There's the patent. So we got receipts, baby. That's how our researchers do it. We got receipts. So that's the receipt for the U.S. patent application to get you. And it was done in 2006 in June. It was applied for. And once again, this thing is supposed to help you walk through walls and doors. Here's another publication of it. So supposedly you're gonna, walk like a certain walk, A, B, C, D, and man, it looks complicated enough. But there you go, an actual patent that someone says that. Who asked for the patent? It's in there on the thing. I'll bring it back up for you in a minute. But just to think about that, you all, that someone has a patent or applied for a patent, and whether it was removed or not, to say we're going to teach people how to walk through walls. Man, that would be some crazy stuff. And don't get me wrong, I would have took the class in a heartbeat. Just like I told you all, if you wanted to, manifest your destiny and everything else, you want to make sure that you take this class. This the Manifest Your Destiny workshop in 2023. This year, January 29th, and it's going to be, and you can do this online. And boy, you may not be able to walk through some walls, but you're gonna get a bunch of walls out of that deal, because they got a bunch of walls. I'm talking from way on over here, way on over there, up there, and yeah, and elevators too. Yeah, you heard me. Elevators in the house. So all right, let's go with that. So manifest your destiny so you can elevate yourself to your second floor of your crib endlessly. So yeah, I didn't have to walk up them big old stairs. And I'm just weaving it in to tell y'all this stuff is real. This year is going to be so great. You're going to watch a transformation through Roderick, and I'm working with just a lot of people and just much love, and I'm just so blessed, and really am just so blessed to be part of the family and everything else. So all right, it was applied for by St. Clair John Q. for the questions of who applied for this particular patent. And once again, I'll bring it up real quick so you can kind of see it. There you go, right there. United States patent application by St. Clair John Q is who it is. And to walk through walls, you know. Now let me be expressive. Can you believe some sugar honey iced tea like that? That somebody's out there can say, and the fact that he's probably, or she, whoever is already doing it, just walking through walls. Kind of remind you of that movie Jumper. Y'all remember that? Where the guy take a picture and he just jumps to another scene. I don't know. This stuff is just crazy. It's just now telling us where the world that we're living in from there. So basically, the technology is so advanced that, you know, when we get down to teleporters and everything else, that it just make it anyway, just about anything seems to be believable. So I'm just not saying that there's actual portals out there, but coming in and out. I'm not saying that they do exist or don't exist. There's enough stuff that's, you know, movies and things, but it doesn't, being in this space doesn't tell me that that's not possible and that is happening and everything else. And so we're going to do that. All right. So we're going to get into our next segment here. And I'm gonna speed things up a little bit, and no more storytelling about, you know, movies and stuff unless something comes up. But we're gonna get into Project Pegasus. I don't know if y'all heard of Project Pegasus. This is one of the most popular, captivating stories of time travels. It's come from a man named Andrew. Okay, Andrew Basico, or whatever his last name is. Now, a little background on who he is. Andrew was the son of a special projects engineer from processing engineer company known as Parsons. Okay, in 1968, a couple of years before I was born, Andrew was one of I paused. Andrew was one of 140 children selected to participate in the secret USO program. And the reason I paused because I just saw an article and I was like, no, this can't be the same. In my memory was seared, there was a guy they showed online that had 100, he had like 12, 13, 14 wives, and he had 140 kids and so many grandkids. I'm like, dude, as busy as you get out. So when I saw that, it just triggered. That goes to show. But anyway, Andrew was one of 140 children selected to participate in a secret U.S. Government program. Okay. And under the name of, or disguised as a Project Talent. Okay, this secret program focused on experimentation of teleportation and time travel technology. So this is his background, and so he's knee deep in this already. So why not his story and Project Pegasus have some truth to it? Now, what happened though? Admiral Rickover, that's the guy's name, set a national goal to identify intellectual people, psychics, leadership abilities in young children. Kind of almost like X-Men, right? And so this is the actual project that's going on. And the Project Talent led effort, which examined for those students nationwide, and what was claimed as a major national effort to assess the aspiration of abilities of America's young men and women. You know, and it's not the Stranger Things, you know, project or anything, but something similar. But according to Andrew Basingo, the exam was actually a cover-up operation to identify children fit with advanced intelligence training by the CIA and DARPA. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all, that the CIA or anyone else is actually doing that. You know, and we've heard about all these programs, and it just really irks me now that as this rabbit hole deepens and we continue to go down this rabbit hole, we're hearing about all these dark money projects out here dealing with now with children's, with all kinds of stuff. And just to know that we have these beings or people walking this earth, and they want to be exploited like that. I don't know. But anyway, the children who completed the training became the test subject for what is called today, I use the word today, Project Pegasus. And Andrew and other subjects of Project Pegasus was sent forward and back in time through advanced technology. I am going to talk about a movie. Y'all probably won't, you probably won't remember because a lot of y'all so young, maybe. Firestarter. Yeah, that's a long, long, long time ago. Long, long, long time ago. And this girl and his father had powers to make your mind think something, but this little girl had power to, create fire, and then she could hurl it at you, whatever it was. She got ticked off. So imagine raising one of those kids, right? And you want to tell them to put down an Xbox, and all of a sudden you get burnt up. That's happening in real time. There's people out there getting hurt right now. I was reading an article on some crazy stuff. But anyway, somebody tell you, yes, I'm old enough to remember. So Macy is old enough to remember Firestarter. All right, that's cool. And everybody else, all right. So all right. I'm 25 times 2 plus 2. So I'm 70s child, so that's cool. Oh yeah, and at the party there was this guy. He was about numerology and stuff, and he started reading my numbers and all. Man, it was a lot of great people, billionaires at the party. It was a small knit group, some successful people, network with some great people. But anyway, we talk about what's really happening with this particular program, and we're going to get to the why in a minute. And as we always say, the why is more important than the how. But how initially is, and I'm gonna give you a few 5 or 6 pointers here, and we'll kind of go into here. So, but we'll go back to why. So the objective of each jump, when they saying these kids are now part of Project Pegasus, is to go back in time. It was usually to share or gather information that they could help those reach a time in the timeline, and at least create the outcome desired by the leading project. And so that means that they're using these kids to go probably back into the future, in the past, to alter the future so they can change the present, so to speak. Man, that's not fair at all, right? But would you do it? If you had the ability to go back in the past to change the future, I think all of us would be willing to go to that one. Now, how this is supposed to work, initially it was time travel, and the machine was shaped like a 10-foot brackets is what it's saying when it was powered on. Andrew, once again, says that you can see streams of radiant energy bouncing between the two brackets, all right? And he describes them looking like failing water, all right? And the engineer would type the desired coordinates into like a computer system and say, okay, you're going to go such and such at this moment in time, and we're going to send you there. Which, if that's the case, then that explains this particular little video clip. I'm going to show it again, where if they saying that they can put into the coordinates and say, okay, we're going to send you to this time, and the person traveling will run into the stream of radiant energy, where they will then find themselves inside a bright tunnel. And then when they're done with that tunnel, they will pop out similar to something like that, right? Or what? At least I think so. Unlike the movie in Deja Vu that Denzel Washington played in. Now, the travelers would land in the center of a public location. Look, I was just reading it. So, and it was later discovered that many reported seeing random children magically appear in these locations. That's crazy. And I don't know why they would use children anyway, because if some odd kid showed up, then most likely somebody's going to say, some stranger being like, let's call the police, your parents or wherever. So when they returned, they would jump through an invisible portal called the Stargate. We all heard about the Stargate. The Stargate was a device allowed for them to travel to another location in real time, spend hours in that location, and then return to where they came from at an original time that they left. Man, this is some powerful stuff. And while we live our regular lives of what we do and how we do things, you got people out there that is time traveling, popping in and out of things. And it makes me understand, and this is a statement, you guys can confirm this. There was something I saw years ago. It was a valedictorian, something that supposedly Jeff Bezos was a young kid. Okay. He was 16, 17, or 17, 18 years old, valedictorian speech. And he shouted out right before he walked off stage and supposedly said to the crowd, you know, I'll see y'all in space. And he's 17, didn't have no money, and pretty much. All right, so we got Archie's window cleaning. He has been selected for what we're going to clean him, you know, or her, she. Is this really Billy Carson's channel? There's no need to answer that. And if anybody didn't know that by now in the story, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Just a little innuendos. So we will take care of Archie's. Maybe I just gave him a shameless plug, though. At least you're going to get that on the way. You're going to be like, what did I say? Yeah. All right. So we'll take care of that. So the whole thing is, we're talking about the Stargate, though. And so, for example, they said that they traveled to Dallas at 10. Dallas, that's where I live. They traveled to Dallas at 10 a.m. and arrived in Houston at 10:02. Then they leave from Houston for Dallas at 7 p.m. But then the engineer set them return to the past at 10 a.m. That's crazy. All right. And then the traveler, as a result, went forward in time to Houston and then came back into Dallas if they never left. Now, that's pretty challenging there, saying that they're moving so fast that they can leave here at, 8 o'clock, go somewhere else, be down there at 8:02, spend enough time there, but to come back to be here at 8:01 as though they didn't even leave. So that goes back into a lot of stories that we hear. So again, it's like they never left, and that's kind of a challenge. So, but later developments, eventually, according to Andrew, about this was that he was introduced to a chronovisor, and pretty much. So let me bag up for a minute. I have a message here that they use children in anticipation of being a long-term project, starting as kids, then they can be used as adults. Oh, okay. All right. So they traveled to Dallas. So the show producer Lonnie said that the reason they use the kids, which makes sense, is go ahead and take the kids, develop them, so when they're adults, they're already, got control or train or whatever they're doing. So yeah, they were also more likely to get help if they got lost. Who, kids? That's funny. So she's saying, okay, so they use the kids because they know if you walked up to somebody as an adult, talking about, man, where is the left street, then ain't nobody gonna go from there. Okay, that's cool. All right, so where did Andrew travel to? So let's give you some data. Now, according to him, in 2045, he took a Stargate to 2045 from the present time, and this is supposed to be a true story, by the way. All right. And that he retrieved a small canister full of history between 1970 and 2040s. He jumps into the past. Andrew said he once went back to brief George Washington via Chronovision in August of 1776, at which in time he warned Washington to pull his troops and not to proceed with the war. And he informed Washington that if he did, his men would win the war, and he would be remembered throughout history. So see that manipulation kind of makes it weird, though, when it gets down to this. Shauna says kids are easy to train. King Simon says, what's up, Rod? All right, what's going on, my man? Peace and blessings to you. So yeah, so if you think about all of these things, and if the time travel would go back, and like I said, when Jeff Bezos said, hey, I'll meet you in space, I was like, that dude's a time travel, because how would he have known in today to tell us at 17 he didn't know he was going to be no billionaire unless he'd been here before? That's just my thoughts. I'm not saying it's pretty much. So, but at this case, though, if you got them coming back in time, although they can alternate, it seems to be a little weird when it comes down to that, right? And it goes back to that movie with Denzel Washington, Deja Vu, or whatever, and how they was going back in time to save the chick's life. Remember, but yet when they open up a window, they could see. But then when he shined a light into the presence, she saw the light, So we were literally connected to the future or the whatever. So the timelines actually intersect. And like I say, when they make these movies, they're not just making this stuff up. So yeah, the butterfly effect. We all talk about that one before as well. So where did the technology come from? So according to Andrew, the technology was developed using data gathered from a number of places, including we got some pictures. I got some pictures. Let me see if I kind of see which ones we have here. A few pictures, and this is the pictures of Andrew, if I'm not mistaken. Here, let's kind of go with that. And yeah, is this him? Yeah, is this the guy? This is the journal. What are we? Oh yeah. So we got that picture there. Check this out. So it's just pretty much. And in fact, there was and let me pull this up. Oh, that's Sergio. Sergi. Okay, so he's late now. So showing y'all some late pictures and all that. I'm gonna get in trouble now. Should have showed y'all that a long time ago. And here's something when we talked about the Vatican, that this was a secret time machine hidden in the Vatican, helped a priest supposedly to go back in time to observe the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And isn't that, like you would think you would go back and save him, if anything, but he just went back to see him to observe the crucifixion. He just wanted to go back and be there. I mean, at what point do you say, okay, I'm going to change some stuff from there? And then you just kind of go into there. I don't know. All right. So let's get into a couple of things when it comes down to Nikola Tesla. Yeah, remember that guy. Let me make sure we into the point of the stories for him. But I found some stuff that, or I didn't, but our researchers, and that there was some stuff that Nikola Tesla was talking about receiving messages from the future or other galaxies. And I kind of brought those up where he speaks in his timeline, where he talks about long distances, getting those messages. And we'll come back to that in a minute. So what we're going to get into right now in this last segment is going to be the Chronovisor. Okay. And what this is about is this guy named Father Francis Broom, or Francios Broom. He wrote a book in 2002 called The Vatican's New Mystery. According to him, Father Broom, that he learned about a time travel device hidden in the Vatican from Father Ernaniti. So once again, I found a little article as well that this guy said that there was a time machine hidden in the Vatican and helped the priest go back in time to observe the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And so, I don't know. Would you even want to do that? If you all had a time machine yourself, if you can go back to visit a point in time, what would you do? Post in a comment. Let me see. I may call a few of them out here. Just what would you do once you do this? But Father Pellegrino Ernaniti, a priest at the Vatican, claimed that he and several others world-renowned scientists created the time travel device called the Chronovisor. All right. And where they did this and where it happened and when it happened was in 1952. And while studying some chants at the Catholic University of Milan, Father Agostino Germilla, school founded, and this guy thought he had heard he thought he heard his deceased father. That's really what happened, and who was a cobbler, and having a disagreement with someone over some shoes. So apparently, that's how that woke some things up for him. And like I said, when you get down to some of these time travel stories, it's always where they're going to visit certain things, seeing certain things, or really going back in time. And who knows if someone's changing our timelines. So, but I don't know how we would see that today. It would just either be a different timeline or something we would know. But also in 1952, while studying Gregorian chants at the Catholic University, this guy, the founder of the school, thought that he heard, once again, this deceased father. And so from there, this sparked an idea that Arnadi's mind that the sights and sounds may continue to exist after they take place, so that the father funded a project to determine if this could be true. So 12 scientists, well, number 12, or we just use that all the time, including Father Ernani, that were part of the project. All right, and only him and his two others has been identified when it comes down to this particular vice of the chronovision itself. And so let me give you a couple of quick details, and then we're going to get into some Yology, and then we'll be out of the show for tonight and get you on with what you're doing for the sake of time here. In fact, this gets really interesting because it comes back in here that Farmer, who was the inventor of the first nuclear reactor, or the Fermi's paradox. And one of them, we all heard of him in the German UFO project, and he was a Nobel winner. I think he was he was a physicist and rocket scientist who worked on the Nazi miracle weapon project. So he was the one, if you know, end up coming over here after the Berlin Wall fell down, and then Project Paperclip, if I'm not mistaken, they was given anonymity and came over here and started NASA. So it's kind of funny that you go back in time that they was dealing with this particular chronovision, and he was part of that maybe, and now all of a sudden they're over here. And some say during World War II, Hitler's men received extraterrestrial communication and technological education, including details to help open portals and build time traveling machine that may believe this insight was used by Warner to help them create the chronovision. So if you go back into detail, if Warner Braun was part of that, and we also know he was one to develop the anti-gravity or help Hitler with that bell, and then all of a sudden come over here with NASA, then that now takes you back into things. And then when they come back and talk about this team of 12 figured out that light and sound continue to exist as energy. And like I said, it's always 12, this majestic 12, 12 disciples, 12, whatever. 12 has just seemed to be the magic number throughout whatever's happening in a conspiratorial or story fashion that we're not particular with from there. And so, and what happened was that Father Ernanita explained that the chronovision device allowed its operator to program certain dates, so they can go in, let's go to this certain date and locations into the system, and will show you the event on a TV like a screen. Now that's weird enough. And it's almost like they didn't have to travel. They can just put in time and date and go back and see it. Now, if you think about that for a moment, real quickly, before we, get into our Yology section, that was what the format of Deja Vu with Denzel Washington was in, right? Well, they was able to see without going into the time. They was able to go ahead and visually see time. And like I said, where do these movies get these ideas from, right? So apparently they may have heard about this story where same thing in the movie. They was able to dial in stuff and then zoom in, and that's how they was catching people literally before they did something without going there, but they will watch them. So that's so weird when it comes down to stuff like that. Let me kind of check the chat and see what's going on here. So let's get into a little Yology, and we'll go to some stuff, and then we'll get everyone out of here from there. All right. So one of the parts of Yology is over the years, photos said to be from the chronovision or have been proven fake, and the Catholic Church even made a public statement that the chronovision is not real. So they went out of their way. And why would they do that? Why would the Catholic Church waste time why would they waste time? And if you're in this big, powerful position, why would you waste time anyway to go tell the public, oh, that's not true? Why do that? Okay. But if this is true, then why did they later come out later and threaten excommunication of anyone caught using the device like the chronovision if it doesn't exist? Now that's funny, right? So they come out and say they didn't have it, it don't exist, but they also come back with threatened excommunication of anyone caught using the device. So it's like, we don't have it. We don't know nothing about it. But if anybody over here, part of our clan, is caught using it, meaning you out of here. So that's something weird from there. Another part of this wireology is out of the 140 children who participated in Project Pegasus, which is real. Go check it out. Why haven't more of them come out to stand with Andrew Basinga and share their story? Well, why would they? You know, why would anybody, if you were a kid traveling and going to get you some ice cream over here and little stuff over here, some, and coming back and forth, growing up like that movie Jumper, you're not going to go, I wouldn't go public. Who would mess up a good thing like that? Why would they go and support this dude? I don't know. Well, at least at this point, that's what the whole purpose, for them to protect the secret. So in a film, 1963, a film called Yesterday's Machine, was about a Nazi scientist who builds a time traveling machine and uses it to alter the events of World War II. And it's kind of weird because someone says, I mentioned that movie when I came in here. Okay, that's cool. Well, great. You got the greatness goddess of energy. So that's kind of weird because that goes back to Wonder Woman. Y'all remember Wonder Woman? How she, or the guy, I don't know how they fought in these wars and manipulate things. So it's kind of weird how all this has happened. Nazi scientist Roderick Martin, was helping build a chronovision and was even believed to be the key player in the creation of a time travel machine called the Bell, or the die clock during World War II. Now, although they're now associating this with the time travel or machine, but he also supposedly, this was a UFO type thing with anti-gravity and all this. So that lets you know this stuff is deep, okay? And why would that movie come out during the same time period, right? The movie Yesterday's Machine, if it's possible that this movie was based on work that he's done. All right. And then last but not least, why would our military hide the discovery and use time travel technology from the rest of us? And that's a question. Why would, it's almost like on one hand, we got technology, like time travel and it's useful over here, but it's almost like they still willing to let things go on that they could prevent. So it's like some rule. We're not gonna, change the timeline, or we're not gonna be part of this thing, because there was a movie called Time Cop, and this is, I'm getting to the end right now. The movie in Time Cop was Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? And it was some guy that was coming back from the future, altering he was coming back from the future to the present, doing business deals to set himself up to be pretty wealthy in the future. And I remember this because it was a great movie. But what stood out the most to me in this movie that I still remember today was he ended up meeting his younger self. And whatever this theory was, they were not supposed to touch each other, integrate the timelines like that, but they can talk. So when the self reached out younger, he's like, no, don't touch me. So he's telling his younger self things that he needs to do. It's almost like people ask that question, what would you say to your younger self? And it's obviously could be true enough that you probably need to say something to your younger self. Well, anyway, he says that he said something to his younger self and he was altering the future. But what was so funny about it, right before he went back into this portal, he looked back at his younger self and he looked at him. He says, man, stay off them freaking cupcakes, man. You're killing me up here. I thought it was so funny because my younger self hadn't talked to me like that, or older self. Or could I go back and tell my younger self, don't eat those things, stop it? And it was just so funny. So it's almost like he could change the path of the future. But if his younger self wanted to continue down a path and sabotage whatever he was going to do, it was going to mess up his future anyway. It was all based on the decisions that the younger self, and he tried to tell him what business moves to make. But then he also said, stay off those cupcakes, man. And I thought that was so funny. And also like, okay, I'm gonna tell. So if I put a note right here and tell myself stop eating and drinking soda, am I talking to my younger self, or am I talking to the present or my future self? Or am I now telling my younger self stay off the sodas? Am I doing it now in real time? I don't know. What do y'all think? Who knows? Hmm. All right. So with that being said, like I said, I hope that we're going to be doing some great things. Now, here's what I want to do real quickly. While I got y'all out here, if there's any particular topics or things that you want us and the researchers to kind of dive into, go ahead and post it in the comments real quick. Put like a 1 in front of it so we know that you're giving us a ideal of a topic that you think that, whether from secret societies, UFOs, whatever it is, we just kind of gather what the audience, and hopefully 20 or 30 of you participate in this real quick. And Lonnie, if you don't mind to write some of those things down and we can kind of check it out. So one, and whatever kind of topic you want us to cover, and pretty much. And so again, if we can get about 20 or 30 of you to participate in this out of the 900 that's sitting in here, that's a low number, by the way, to ask for help out of 20 of you. All right. So somebody said the CRN, please, no acronyms. If just put the whole word out so that we'll be trying to figure out what certification. I'm just kidding. But if CRN is it, Ms. Wilson, then that's cool. But if not, put the whole thing for us. Someone said recent UFO sightings. Okay. I got a lot of that we can go over. Advanced energy devices. Okay. Someone else says CREN. So obviously that's what it is. I don't even know what that means. Maybe I'm missing something. AI detecting spirits on TikTok. That's girl from the Bay. All right. Philadelphia experience. Theta, Fata Morgana in China. Okay. Make sure y'all put 1 and then it. So that way I can single out that y'all just not having a conversation that you're talking about something. She said that's too long to spare it, laughed out loud. SERN. She said she got it. All right. Pineal gland, sacred. That's a little deep. The Philadelphia experience, past lives. If you want to hear anything about past lives, okay, go over to Why the Big Secret YouTube channel. Barbara Lamb, Hypnodegressives. We talk about that. And there's another lady there. We actually get into past lives. There's a video on my YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel, Roderick Martin, Why the Big Secret. So check that out. Inner Earth, okay, that's cool. Skinwalker Ranch, we cover some of that, but we can do it again. The oceans and its habitats, mermaids, cloning projects. All right, keep it coming, keep it coming. Mandela effect on diff timelines. Boy, that CERN keeps coming up. Artificial sun, that is a great concept. Ocean and inner Earth traveling between dimensions. Okay, that's pretty cool there. Any more ones? Let's go with some topics that we will soon to cover. And we can kind of go from there. Okay, Micah said, make sure you put a 1, then I know I can see it. Oh, Manny Soul says, Truth says AI versus ET. Manny says seeing ghosts and supernatural experiences. That's cool. And let's see, and the correlation between aliens, demons, and why all of us have ghosts and paranormal. All right. So crafts, the Bose-Hickson moon as military base. The reason why we didn't go back to the moon, that's a great one. That's a good thing that we talk about. Nazis in Antarctica. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, demon congregant. He said it once. We'll go back in. Metaphysics, says Priscilla. E.T. extraterrestrial life and after death. We, like I said, we got some stuff over there on the Big Mars, the Black Knight satellite. Well, you can watch that, Shauna. Go ahead and watch that on Forbidden Knowledge TV. Check that out. All right, we're down to our last minute or so. Keep it coming, ones if time. Lonnie, it looks like we got some great topics. CERN is a con. Okay, whatever it is. Breakdown of movies everywhere, nowhere in place. All right, so once again, I hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving. I'm going to show you a clip of real quick, a minute of when I arrived. I went down to Billy Carson's house for the when I said Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve. What the hell? I'm still thinking about food. So see, I caught that myself. Y'all ain't have to say nothing about that. All right. So There we go. All right. Happy New Year. No Limits 23. My man. All right. So we'll take that as well. So yeah, yeah, I caught that myself. Well, anyway, I went down to Billy Carson's house for New Year's Eve, and just was treated grand and as the family, and picked me up in the Rolls Royce. And but anyway, I'll play a little quick video, let you check it out before we get out of here. It's about a minute long, and this is what happened and some things at New Year's Eve when I went down to Billy Carson's New Year's Eve party with him and Elizabeth, and it was a small gathering of intimate people, and it was just great. But anyway, I'm going to play the clip for you, and it is to them to thank them as well. All right, we're in the Rolls Royce.
My circle is so small, it's a dot. And I really appreciate every single one of you guys. So thank you for taking the effort to come down here and be a part of this tonight.
Morning. We are now. All right, my ride is here. My ride is here. I'm going to be picked up in the Rolls Royce. Gonna get some breakfast. Gonna get some breakfast. Okay, so I am about to go through my session of training. We're going to improve on greatness to be Nurse Nikki here. Hi, how you doing? Okay. Now, man, that was so great. And like I said, and I saw a chat that came through here who says, why did he put you in the back seat? He did put me in the back seat. He opened the door and said, Mr. Martin, would you sit down? And it was Billy's has a Rolls Royce, and his driver picked me up, and he was chauffeuring me to Billy's house. And so that's why I was in the back seat. So if you go to the manifesting workshop, the gentleman who wrote that in the thing, then you too would experience someday of someone opening up the door and you get into the back seat to be driven to a destination. And it won't be a surprise as it was to you just then. Because again, I'm telling you, you got to go to this thing and I'm telling you with my own eyes that what he teaches and what he shares as forbidden knowledge, the truth, to where you can manifest your own life and do some things. Oftentimes, once again, you get people doing this and they're not living that. There's some fakeness in some places, but in this case, I'm telling you, it is real. And I bear witness to it to tell you that they are living their best life. The relationship is beautiful. And I think it should be when you create those things that you do as two people and everything else. And I'm just proud to be a part of that, be part of the inner circle of some other things and everything else. No, it was a Rolls Royce, so it wasn't a Bentley. It was a Ghost 2023 Rolls Royce Ghost. Yes, that booger was nice. And like I said, I'm just telling you, when I got out in the driveway, I'm about to close off the show. I said, I need to manifest. I need to meditate. Whatever. I need to do it. It works. It works. That's all I can tell you. All of it works. It all works. And it works big, big, big. And I'm just telling you, it works really big. All right. So yes, he said I got a seat at the table, baby. You know what? Not just a seat at the table. It's just pretty much being part of the family. And much love, and just spending hours and hours, 4 or 5 of us for hours, and everything else. So okay, so I'm gonna close it out and tell you it is 2023. I don't know about New Year's resolutions and all of that. All I know is actual facts. I'm making a promise to you that you're going to watch me grow. You're going to watch me manifest some dreams. I'm going to take you on that journey. You're going to watch me release some of this unuseful weight on my body with the help of Marie Carson and some challenges that she's going to get me through out of love and everything else. You're going to watch my personal life, financials, all of those things not only exceed and grow because there's already some great stuff, but it is about being and surrounded by people. And then I hope to take the people in my inner circle and teach them what I'm learning from that bigger circle. And we all do great things and truly live a great life. And it is possible, and we should be doing that. So once again, it's plum, pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege serving you as I do here on Tuesday night. And hopefully, by that last photo, there won't be people saying, "Where's Billy? Is he Billy?" And he's not. And no, I'm not Billy. Okay, and I'm Roderick Martin. And again, we're going to get rid of all those people. So we're not taking negativity as a collective, as a family, as a show, another one with us. So my encouragement to each and every one of you, when you see negativity in this chat, ostracize them, get them out, talk them out, shout them out, and we're going to boot them out. I don't care. Yeah, you can express your opinion and keep it to yourself. And if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing. Because that's what's happening. All of this stuff is determined, and people think they can come here and I'm where I'm at. And that's where that negative wants to be. So, but it's going to be all of us coming together for 2023. We're going to bring all of our energies up. And to start with that is the subtle stuff. So we're going to empower. Yes, we're going to block them. We're going to shout them out, whatever, and get rid of them. And so, but if you having a bad day, we're going to love you. We're going to do that. Negativity gone. Yes, it is. All right, y'all. You all have a great evening, and see you next Tuesday. But tomorrow at 3 p.m., I'll be live streaming on my YouTube channel, Roderick Martin, Why the Big Secret. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, come on over and do that. Much love.